So, Keanu Reeves is, well, comes one of the most humble, nicest actors who does as many stunts of his own as he can in his 50s and even at 60, which when they're filming for John Wick 5, which is very, right. And of course, he was in The Matrix, and Speed, and Point Break, and also in John Wick 1. Now, I've seen this movie about 4 years ago, and was pretty astonished by it. And then lo and behold, I found out that there's a dang quadrilogy, soon to be quintilogy. And I'm like, alright, I may as well rewatch and see what's going on. So while I'm watching a freaking giant camera, I'm also watching this, only on this channel. Will you ever hear that sentence? This is one heck of a movie. It's the gothic slash neo-noir film that was needed to be made and save Mr. Reeves' career. So yeah, as a former agent, he gets out of the life of being an assassin, and he says, "Yeah, I'm going to get married and just try and live a normal life." But however, when his wife dies from unexpected illness, he gets devastated and receives some, to quote him, "and I received a semblance of a normal life when puppy came into my life, but then this one massive yutz comes in, steals my car and steals my dog. Now I'm going to go and eliminate everyone." There is a reason why he is called the Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. The Baba Yaga is, of course, in Slavic Russian folklore. I forgot what it was, but it's just an old woman and got some connotations. Also, chicken feeding in her house, so that was very interesting. Yeah, I mean, this is an action film noir. Action film, amazing. It's just pretty much what it is. I mean, it's just when the action is done, it's done. It's so just oozing with quality. Whether if it's in the big, whether if it's whether it's with those scumbags who come into his house, whether if it's just like the Continental, whether if it's the car chase, or even when they're trying to humanize him and describe him by saying like the boogeyman. No, he's the person you call to assassinate the boogeyman. All the while he's getting a sledgehammer to reveal some ammunition that he had, and it's just so gosh darn good. You just think of it like, this is so good. Yeah, I mean, it's like the action here. It's not just rapid jump cuts. Yes, there are some that are done. Some of them last upwards, I would say, anywhere between 15 to 30 seconds, which is so nice to see. I'm like, yes, please have lengthy no cut action scenes that just work so well, and you're just engrossed. I was just engrossed by it because it's like, this is refreshing to see rather than constant jump cut, and of course you can't do it without talking about like the style of the movie. There is a certain, I guess, saturation about it, that with like the purples and the neon fluorescent lighting and everything else. So I'm like, oh yeah, I like it as it to present the city as this more interesting way of handling like how the city and the locations come alive, and it's almost like kind of like the Matrix in a way, but this is a lot less like futuristic and slowing down time and just more focusing on everything else going on. I'm like, yes, this is what I want to see, especially when they're in the Continental, and when they're downstairs dealing with how the whole party's going on, including like all the alcohol being drank and everything else, and how all the assassins have to follow a strict code of honor and morals and stuff like that. So it's like, this is like a living like living, breathing way of dealing with like even though I have to follow it, it feels real and legit, not just something that's just really up there. What also makes this work is the thematic analysis. Yes, sometimes you got to do this. Um, there's the hotel. There's the guy named Charon, Charon, or Akron, one of those two, who would guide the recently deceased souls in Greek mythology across the river Styx into where they would go. They would either go into hell, purgatory, or heaven. And who's played by the wonderful Lance. Oh, his name will lose me. It's like you would pay a coin and then you would go down. What is his name? It's like you would go down and you would try to, like, hey, here's where you're gonna go, and it's done with the most straight face possible. He also acts as like kind of the straight man, some of the humor going on. He's like, I do apologize for calling it this late hour. We have received some phone calls about your room. Noise disturbance? Yes, noise disturbance. And then something else happens and he hangs up earlier. It's a cop thing. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Anyway, there's the sense of humor, and it's like there's also a cop. Cop comes in, he says, it's like, hey John, hey Jim, noise complaint? Yeah, noise complaint. Sees the body, and it's like, oh, okay. And eventually calls up another guy, hey Charlie, so I have a reservation for 12, and a whole bunch of people just come in with waste disposal. So it's got that kind of very dry sense of humor that I like a lot. So yeah, but thematically, it deals with like the underworld, that land, like the hotel person, kind of like Sharon, who gives him the coin to go down. There's Wick, who's also playing the aging hero that compared to a lot of the other younger people, he's a little bit older. How old is he? Roughly 50 or Wick was roughly 50 or so when performing all the stunts. So we kind of get to see him reflect more on his life and have it be multi-layered because he's trying to think about the future. He's trying to think of what it's like dealing with his dog, but then he gets caught straight back into the past. So he has to deal with this conflict of his wife. Is he acting out of revenge, or is it because he just wants a normal everyday life? It's like, even though you have all these great action heroes, you have your McClanes, you have your Rambos that you root for them, but narratively there's not too much going on with their personas, if you will. So that's what's going on. It's more of like just I don't know, I wouldn't say a deconstruction of everything that's going on, but at the same time, it's like kind of giving it more investigation and more depth, being, I guess, modernized for the 21st century to make this more than just I guess you could say, like, just a regular action movie. This one's got a little bit more literacy and more scholastic approach that one can think like, hey, this is actually really good. I like this. And it's like he's grappling and trying to think of everything of all the motifs going on. So it's like ultimately he just decides, okay, I am tired. It's like I want to escape. I want to escape from Tartarus and go to Elysium. And it's obviously with Greek mythology. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, John Wick. Oh, man, if there was anything I really didn't like, I guess the swearing. It's like they didn't need to say the F word so much. I don't know. It just didn't work out so well. That's like the only thing I think was the swearing just didn't feel needed. Man, maybe the son was a douchebag. I don't know. I mean, this movie is so freaking fantastic. It has both, like, kind of like I guess, neo-noir stuff that was going on with, like, Dark City and everything else. But, yeah, in between that, fantastic action scenes, the motifs, the thematic analysis, the music and direction. This really is the first And this is only like what I've heard the weakest point in the trilogy. So yeah, John Wick, highly recommended.